Oh, okay, so I know for this channel it's a little bit different content, but TF2 is a really old game for me, and I think I have some knowledge that I want to sort of pass on because this game is getting pretty old, and it's not a game I will play as frequently as I used to. I know it's it's different. It's aged, and as I've aged, this game, what I enjoy about this game has, and what I've enjoyed about this game has changed drastically over the years. So I really want to just pass on this information to, about how to play sniper, my probably favorite class, and I have a playstyle with him that seems to be very different from how other people like initially play him. You know, they play all the way back there, over here, and I like to play sort of up front, right here, up there, you know, over here off the side if I can, maybe over here to get people up here. And so I want to help people like learn this class in a different way. And
the bomb's just sitting there.
From when I've played TF2, hold on, I have to check. When I've played TF2, there's a lot of concentration on improving your aim. You know, play those aim improvement games on the free-to-play Steam store and you know, like find your perfect mouse sensitivity. You know, ask pros like what their sensitivity is and mimic it. But I'm going to tell you that while those are pretty important, you don't really need
Mission
per
ends
se
in
those
60
things
seconds.
that I need to. It's one. Gonna copy this command.
Time has been added.
Oh, it only goes up that much, so gotta keep doing that every time. But I'm gonna show you like a different way to improve as, you know, a sniper. That doesn't include you know, improving your aim. Like maybe you're someone who is very inconsistent aiming, well, like me, because you know, sometimes I have days where, you know, I'm hitting everything, and then I have other days where I'm just constantly missing. And I feel like it'll help some people who have, you know, this mindset of, you know, they see, you know, like in Upward, you'll have a sniper up here, and someone who maybe is just learning or just like pretty average at the class will just come down here, try to get the guy that's up here and get constantly killed, headshot trying to get him, and maybe they'll have one or two chances where they get a headshot or something, but compared to like how much stress it was to finally get the guy, it makes you feel kind of like you're not good at the class. And while you're not good at maybe the aiming aspect, there's other ways to, like, I saw a Leon Massley video, and it's about I'm bad. That's the title of the video. And he's talking about, you know, and he was talking about a situation in Halo where he was always going to a spot and trying to kill some guy, and while there was a problem that he could have killed the guy if he aimed good and you know, killed them, the problem is that he was in a position where he's getting shot by like two other people, and that's why he's losing the gunfight. It's not because he can't aim good, it's because he's getting into a situation where he's at an inherent disadvantage, and it makes it feel like he's bad even though he's possibly good at the game. And I feel like sometimes people get into that mentality as well. They come down here where this guy is obviously looking down here. He has his dot down here, and they get headshot and they like 5-6 times over, and they're like, "Wow, I'm bad at sniper. I can't aim." And the problem is partially why they can't aim, but the bigger problem is that you're putting yourself down here every single time, and he knows as a sniper he needs to counter snipe you, and if you're constantly putting yourself into this position where he knows where you're going to be standing every time, you're going to die every single time. If he's like if he's that much better than you at aiming. So I'm here to tell you that to not stand here, rather than thinking about standing here and trying to kill him, you should think about not standing here and instead think about how do I get him in a place where he won't know where I am. That's kind of the point. So I think to really it's kind of hard to explain, but to really understand this, you kind of need to be in this position. You need to either play on red team and come up here and look down this sight, and to understand where is he, what can he see from this position. So if he's looking at you down here, well, the first thing to know is that does he scope, or does he do this and then quick scope? And that's one of the main things you need to know, because if you're scoped, he can see this part, but not here or down there. That's a huge, and that's puts him at an inherent disadvantage. If he's like one of those body shotting snipers who just sits here and charges all day and looks down here, and just waits for you to, and then body shots you, you can push up here, and he doesn't have a sight on you anymore because he's scoped in, so you can headshot him here. Or at least attempt to. But if he's, say, unscoped, he's, looking around like this. He's looking, you're gonna have a harder time. You can't push here because then he's gonna flick quick scope. Something like that. I usually don't like to play sniper on attack here. It's usually better at second point back there, but and I'm going to cover this map pretty much head to toe, telling you where, or at least some of the spots that I like. So you can tell here he's looking, but he doesn't have a very clear sight down here. You can see there's that rock that's very well placed. It has good geometry, good enough geometry so that he can't get a good sight line into here. So you can actually, so he's probably not going to look here. So you can push up here, and I believe this part is as a whole. Yeah. See, I hit that. Yeah, I hit that door. So yeah, you can get him in here or here. And this also goes for the reverse side as well. If you're red pushing up to here, I mean if you're blue. Oh, I just lost train of thought now because I messed it up. But yeah, you want to be here if he's looking down there, and then if he doesn't want to be shot, he would probably be. Well, this is a, and then, but then there's more to this. So if this guy's just gonna stand here and just rely on his aiming skills, he's going to get countered by a sniper that has better positioning, and can get into a position where his aim is much more unreliable. And You don't even need to do anything crazy, like, uh, you don't need to do anything super crazy. Like, if you're standing here, you could just go around the back and then just stand right here. Suddenly he has to change, suddenly if he's watching here, he has to do a flick. And if he's just going to stand there and move side to side, you can just click him there. And since he'll be caught off guard by you being here, and not here, you'll have more time to get him. Although that's like maybe a few seconds, depending how good he is at a flick shot. And this is like really meta, and like meta sniping. Like what is he thinking? And that's kind of like the appeal to the class for me, is like, what is he thinking? Where's he going to stand? Where is he going to be looking to try to get me? And how do I change up my...
Time has been added.
How do I change up my position and the timing of where I am at that position to really get him? So, yeah. Now there's another thing. Like, it's not just one way, oh, he's just going to be standing there, I should just stand. I should push here. It's going to be, well, now I've headshot him there. Now what is he going to do to change that? So another place red could stand if he wants to counter your position down there is up here. And this is a pretty good spot. You can like stand here. If you don't want to be seen by that door, you can stand here. However, so now he can get around this geometry, this rock geometry, and catch you trying to push out here. And yeah, if he continues to stand there, he's not going to be able to do anything. You can just push out here, and he'll have to like. Now he's thinking about 1, 2, 3 different spots you could be standing in, rather than just that one spot. Now he's got to think, and that might mess with his timings, and might throw him off. But maybe he'll stand here so that now he only has to watch this one spot. But notice he has to look over here. And he's weak over here, so you could come out. And he has no sight line on this or this, so you can just push out here. Oh, you're right there. And now he's dead. And now your team can roam free for like 15 seconds or however. There's another fun spot, like down here. A lot of people don't check, but it's really bad because if there's a soldier, he can just spam. You just jump in and spam this location, and you're dead. So there's not a lot of movement you could use to like get out of the way because you're trapped, kind of like trapped yourself. So that's like kind of like a niche spot. You can still catch someone off guard if they're not looking or expecting that location, especially since people are going to be looking up here, or maybe over there, or up here. Up here's kind of a good spot, but you have that rock in the way, and you're still vulnerable to this position. So they'll probably just want to be back here. Since that's way better, and you're not going to get pushed as hard. Although I still like to be here just because it's really aggressive, and it's just a minor position change that kind of throws people off. And then I think that's it for like this spot. Once you oh no, wait, once I need to push the one to show this, but we're gonna push up to right about that spot. There's probably gonna be skipping this video for that. So yeah, once you push here, red gets pushed back all the way back here, and maybe they're more concentrated. You're probably more concentrated on protecting the sentry spot that's down here. Sometimes you'll be able to get up here, but sometimes red will be able to get up here, but there might also be a soldier jumping up here, or demo jumping up here, trying to get down to get the sentry down here. There's a lot more fighting that occurs down here, up there maybe if they're trying to push up on the sentry down here. And then if you're red, the most common place for snipers to stand is up here.
5 minutes left in the mission.
And up here. And each of these has like their own issues. So right here you can see pretty well down there, you can see pretty well down here, and depending on how you move you can even look down here. But most of the time you're gonna be here. Well, they're gonna be here. And so if you can't push and it really depends where they're looking again. If they're scoped and looking down here, they're not going to be looking over there, and same if they're scoped in here, they're not going to be looking down there. But if they're unscoped, they can see this and react appropriately. It just depends where they're looking, because there's going to be a time where they're, because this is a pretty wide sweeping angle and it takes a long time. You could, if they're looking up, you need to start thinking about, are they going to be looking here or here? And most people push here, so they're probably going to be looking here. So you want to be down there, but sometimes they'll be looking here because there's a spy or there's like a combo down here, so that you want to push up there and get them. So they get, and then if they're down here, they can get here, but they can't quite see right there, so you could push right in right here and get them here, since this is a lot of confusing geometry. I think you can shoot through these, but you don't have like a clear view of who's pushing, and you don't really have a clear shot. So they won't be looking here, they'll be looking down here or over here. So you'll want to like, be really close, shoot within here. That's it for this point. As red, you could probably like, I know there's a fun, you could probably like stand here and catch people off here, but this is really aggressive. You can't use this anymore because you'll die. You could stand down here, and people trying to push up here will probably be aiming up here and probably be looking up here, and because like they're looking up here, their gun model, if they're not using a custom, if they're not using some sort of view model adjustments, they're not going to see you because of the view model. They might like turn to be like, oh, but then by that point you'll have advantage.
When you mongrels learn to push?
We're gonna push into the tunnel here, and I usually don't like tunnel sniping in there. Occasionally I do it, but as blue I usually do not want to push in there just because it's a death sentence. You can have people, unless you have the top side pretty much owned. You have people up there who are really good at preventing people from coming down here. Otherwise it's not really fun. You know, because down here, you don't have a sight line into anyone until you're all the way down here. And then the only good part is when it's down here and you have sight line up to people up here, or and people right here. I think you can get like, yeah. So I think you can see people's heads right here. I'm not quite sure. But I think you can from right here. And that's a pretty good like surprise spot.
That bloody car ain't gonna move itself.
Time has been added.
So common spots for red is, from what I've seen, is right here, down here sometimes, and then up there. Oh, what am I thinking of? Oh, I can. Okay, I'm gonna do something new. But yeah, up there on that patio.
The bomb's moving the wrong way!
It's probably just like a spy spot to get the snipers up here, but yeah. The good part about this one is that you can see people's heads, kind of. I know there's another spot I'm going to show you that's like a secret spot that nobody checks, but and it's kind of obvious where it is. So from here you can kind of like look down here. This is a pretty strong spot. You can look through here. There's some rocks to get in the way. There's 3 different spots you can be, but this one covers them all. But you still have to think about, you know, you can, depending on where they are on here, you can still push through here and try to get a really aggressive position down here, or well, I don't know if you can get them up here because of that, because of this thing. It's solid, but I don't see many people like standing here. They're usually standing here. People who stand there die, usually. So you still have to think about this is still like a pretty good surprise spot. The people up here are usually looking like for this spot, maybe spots down there if they're or well, no, they're usually looking up here, this spot, back here maybe. People trying to peek up this hill. They're not thinking this right side, which is where you can usually surprise them. You can be here or be here. There's a slight flick, but if you can get pre-aim them to where you need less time to hit them before they hit you, then it's fine.
Let's go, lads!
There's
Keep pushing!
You can, that down there is a pretty like aggressive push, but you can get like the engineers up there who are usually like building to try to stop you. This is a pretty difficult spot for most people to push. Usually it ends here at last,
Bomb ain't moving!
depending on how good the teams are. So once you're like pushed up here, you're trying to get you're harassing the NGs, whatever you want to be done here. The positions change a little bit again. Again, this spot is still pretty versatile. You have this spot, this down here, this down here. The team's probably going to be pushed up behind this.
Just sitting there.
So like down here, you're going to be looking to push into the sentries down here. And you can be here. Not a lot of the times. I don't see people using the space this much. Maybe an NG or a soldier trying to get a sight down here, but usually never a sniper just being here and taking up the snipers that are down here. This spot is countered by being over here. This is a pretty decent spot, and if you got a sentry down there, people can't peek up here, but once your sentries are down, this is a really bad spot, just because the soldier can peek through up there. And then
Keep pushing, lads.
the super secret spot nobody pays attention to is right here. You get the same advantages as being like, you get this extra cover right here. So, and you can look up here, and a lot of times when I'm down here, like medics' heads will pop up down here. They'll be like behind here, because when you're down here or over here, it's really hard to see them.
This bomb ain't gonna move itself, lads.
5 minutes left in the mission.
you can like really
5
see
minutes left in the mission.
you got a lot more things to do. This spot is unfortunately really weak to that spot right there, so again,
Push, lads.
use this only if
Push!
people are just constantly pushing up here.
Can't just sit
And it's only
there.
like a soldier or a demo that's just down there looking at the
Additional time awarded.
looking at the sentries or there's some or no not that if someone's down there you're probably gonna die, but if it's
Now you're back
people
into
they're
it,
pushing
boys.
up here they're really concentrated on getting this top space, then down here is like really powerful just because you got this cover right here and you can see people trying to push up and get picks on people before they can
Stay
really
with the
get
car.
momentum going. So this is like your reprieve time right here. There's not much. This is your time to like push up and or push through, get this place cleaned out or this place cleaned out.
Push that car.
Alright, so by this point in time, you're probably pushed up to here, and now there's a sentry
Car
either
ain't moving,
there's
lads.
sentries either up here, over here. Yeah, just over there. In this general area. It's not. You got that balcony space down there, but you're probably gonna get killed by sentries, so it's probably unwise to push. And then you've got snipers who will like to stay up here. This is a pretty good spot. You're looking at incoming enemies up here, down here. This is like the part where
Not
the
going the right
map
way.
gets like really choke point. There's a lot of choke points, and there's not a lot you can do to keep out of another sniper's sight as you push in. So there's really three spaces you gotta be looking at. There's here, here, here. And if you're looking here, here to here and here to here is pretty long distance to flick. So you can push here and get the sniper looking down here from there, or up there from here, depending on where you want to be. If you want to be higher, be there. If you want to be down low, there. This has, you have a lot more risk of getting pushed, of getting caught in an enemy push to take out usually your sentry spot right there. And if you're up here, someone like a pyro or a soldier or demo trying to get down there could be pushed directly into you and kill you. So there are a few disadvantages to that. If you don't want to deal with that, if you're on red and you don't want to deal with the blue snipers down here who are good, you can be like right here. You got a decent sight line down here. It's not great. I don't like this spot on red just because it feels very restrictive of who well, it feels very restrictive, and a lot of the more free spaces don't really let you, a lot of the other spaces don't really get you a good sights. Like if you're down here, you can get like maybe some picks over here, but not really that much. Just because there's so much of the buildings blocking the way. Right here, this building is blocking the way again. You could maybe push like into here, but it's the same problem as that house back there. If you try to run, you need to get past this geometry first, and then sometimes you'll bump into something and then you'll have lost some time and you'll die. So, but you can get some people like pushing into there. If you're standing up here, you can get people looking there to there, or here to, or well, it's the far part. So people trying to push through here as this climbs it's probably the spot bomb there. Payload climbs this part. You can get a really good. You can get a sight line up here. That's pretty fun to use because people aren't expecting people to use. Been down there. Payloads are usually pretty risky. There's a lot of spies who probably just want to go down there. Somebody's class who's trying to flank. So you could push into this house beforehand. You could really like push into this house. You could get like here and get someone standing here. I don't think any other part of this is really helpful. Yeah, you can get here like sort of get sneaky headshots here. Just because of how dark that area is, most people don't look there. Once that you're pushed up there, a lot of red snipers will be pushed back here. And oh, this is the part I don't like. This part you're kind of railroaded into looking down here. None of the options here really cover much from a red point of view, and you have to push like really hard into enemies that are likely set up down here. Someone who might be pushing through here. You can still maybe use the spot, but it's extremely risky, and you can die very easily to someone who's just watching it, or someone who's spamming this area.
Pull up your socks and
Red doesn't really have a lot of options from there, I think. And it gets slightly better at the end here, but it gets slightly worse for blue, I think. What mostly goes to like how people choose to push.
Time has been added.
So we're gonna try to get down there. So that's the next position. Yeah, once you finish capturing that point, the push to here, from there all the way down here is pretty free. Usually you've destroyed some sentries over here, and they don't really have time to build up, so they start building up here, up there, maybe down here, maybe. So when you're red, it kind of opens up. It's a little bit better. You can like be here and get most of the people, but there's that entrance down here, through there, and up there. One of the better spots to be in is actually right here. You can like hide yourself back here. People won't think there's like snipers down here. Don't look here, they look here. And they're not looking for in the peripherals that the sniper that's standing down there. So when you stand right there, you can like get a sight on them, and usually it's like scoped in here. So you can counter snipe them down here just from like a tiny positional change. Even down here sometimes works, but they're usually looking all the way back, this whole back right here. If you're pushed up here, they're really not expecting this. They're expecting you to be like right there. You can also do some stuff like be down here if you want to catch someone trying to push up through here, like a spy that's not cloaked, or pyro demo trying to spam up here. This is a surprisingly underutilized area. So you can be like right here. Usually by the time you're spawning in, now blue has peeking advantage just because of the respawns, and well, we usually at first blue will have positional advantage because they'll be the ones pushing into here, and most of the team will either be dead trying to be here
That bloody cart ain't gonna move itself.
defend this position. You'll most likely be dead trying to defend that position. If you survive, you'll have Beaker's advantage. You'll have the advantage here. I'm not as creative on blue for that point, so for like this area, so so I don't really know what to do here. Sometimes you can get, sometimes if there's red people like pushed up all the way here because you guys get pushed back here, you can go through here, down here, and just kill them over here. There'll be like a medic helping them push and stay there, and you can pick him. You can also be, I think the sentries reach partially over here, so you gotta be careful. I don't think you, if there's a sentry up there, which there usually is, you'll lose health trying to push through here. You might not die, but it's pretty difficult to get up here. So, and then you could be up there too, but usually here is for trying to catch snipers standing here or up there. And someone down here can easily pick you once you try to push out a little bit. You can still get them down here, but you have to make a 90-degree turn pretty much. Less than 90 degrees. You could stand here as red, but you're eating spam from other classes that'll kill you. So it's not really that great of a spot. You can stand on these stairs and try to be sneaky,
Attention.
but you're
5 minutes
risking
left
getting
in the
pushed
mission.
through
5
here by
minutes
demo.
left in the mission.
Keep pushing, lads.
And I don't think I went into enough detail, but it's really hard to explain these unless you've like played the game, and that's, I think, the most difficult part of this type of learning or play style, is that the learning curve is a little bit
Let's go, lads. Keep pushing.
steeper than most,
The payload has
or
almost reached the
slightly
vital
steeper
terminus.
than just improving your aim, because improving your aim takes a little while. You need to practice and do all this stuff. But in this, you really need to get into a mindset of where are they looking. You need to get into the practice of understanding, like, where are people looking, where are people going to be thinking about where you're going to be, and how do you be where they're not thinking. And it requires you playing the game, but also it requires that you play the game and get that, like, aim. Same thing as aim practice. You're in the game, you're figuring out your sensitivity and slowly adapting to it and practicing flicks. But you're also sort of analyzing your own gameplay. When you're red, you're coming into your, like, where am I looking and where am I not looking? And since that's my mindset of where I'm not looking, how do I get myself to break that habit and start looking in different places? And how do I take advantage of that mindset and start being in places where I'm not looking? Because usually when you're a sniper, a lot of snipers have the same, like, mindsets of where they're going to be looking.
Stay near the bomb.
And once you really
The car's
get a
just
real,
sitting
like,
there.
sense for where people are going to be, where they're going, what sight lines are they going to be using and looking down, and where you can be standing. Once you nail that, this playstyle really starts to open up. You can be, like, make really aggressive pushes and start picking people really easily just by being in really weird spaces nobody expects you to be in. And that's probably one of the best parts of playing this class, is that this class isn't designed to be as mobile, but just with your positioning and normal movement, you can, like, be in really weird places and really weird and unexpected places that some classes just, or some players just don't understand how to
Bloody
do,
way.
or aren't ready to deal with, and by that time you've got, like, 1 or 2 picks in. I think this will only work in like pubs, because you know, competitive they have callouts, so you can't always do this. But this is a really good like pub sniper sort of game plan. You don't have to use this for competitive. I haven't played competitive. I usually play it. I don't play competitive. I usually play casual. And this is like how you get people.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
That bomb ain't gonna move itself, lads.
So yeah.
Time has been added.
Where do mongrels learn to push?
Stop thinking about how do I aim good. Thinking about how do I position good, so that aim doesn't matter as much. Because once you understand that, you understand like this map. And unfortunately for this style, map knowledge is extremely important. So you need to play a lot of maps, and usually you'll have a preferred map that you want to be on, just because you like how
The bomb's
you
moving
can
the
like
wrong
push
way.
in, like the different positions you can push in. It's really hard to explain. It's more of a feel because it's game sense. It's not like a oh yeah, I flick like this. I you know
Man ain't moving, lads.
it isn't muscle memory that you can train. It's game knowledge and understanding the map and really trying to be creative with that knowledge, which makes this harder to like, understand. But once you get it, once you have it, you'll get it, and everything will make sense. I think that's it. I want to think. I'm thinking about maybe covering. Oh, hat drop. But I'm thinking about covering other maps, maybe, because it's really dependent on like map knowledge. And if I do more maps, maybe other people will
God save them.
slowly understand like, different ways to play sniper on different maps. Maybe we'll see like variety of snipers. You won't just see people like standing here and being boring. You'll see people like pushing and being intelligent with their positioning. Because a lot of people, they like to complain about sniper. Oh, he can headshot me from this range. Oh, look how powerful he is because of the damage he
Mission
can do.
begins in
And I
30
think about
seconds.
how do I avoid that damage by changing where I am. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I don't know how long this is gonna look like, but
Mission begins in
and this
10
is pretty much
seconds.
just off the cuff. I didn't really have any ideas
5,
written
4,
down.
3, 2, 1.
I just had a general sense of how I play this map specifically. So maybe later, if I decide to, I'll make something a little bit more detailed. This is just off the cuff and really vague. Yeah.